Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to another one of our seniors workouts from home. As we did last week, I'm going to be focusing on balance, coordination, and fall prevention. This doesn't mean that I'm going to have a hard focus on exactly that every week going into the fall and throughout the fall, but I'm going to be introducing these exercises more and more frequently, and I'd like to get them done before it gets cold, before there's ice, before there's snow, so that you're well prepared. I do it every year. We're going to start again today with some of those exercises from the feet. So let's do a little warm up first. This is a traditional heel raise. We do it often in this program. I want you to put your heels together, separate your toes, try to hold a fairly decent posture. So try to pull yourselves upright. If you need a chair close by, go ahead and grab it. We're going to raise up the heels and then we're going to drop them down. But I'm going to introduce a twist. When we drop our heels down, you're going to pick up the ball of your right foot or your left. Pick up the ball of one foot. Then we're going to raise up again, we're going to drop, and then we're going to pick up the ball of the other foot. So we're getting used to flicking up the front of our foot so it doesn't touch on something. And we're doing it in a fashion that forces us to improve our sense of coordination, or rather our coordination period. So raise up, one foot, raise up, the other foot. I'm keeping a fairly quick pace for this, so I don't want to give you a lot of time to think about it. I just want to train you to be able to react quickly, hence the speed. So we're going to do 10, 9, you can do whatever you like with your arms, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's shake that foot out. Okay, we're going to do another exercise for balance. You might want to have a chair in front of you for this one. We're going to raise up onto the balls of both feet now. We're going to take a couple little side shuffles to the left. We're going to raise up onto the balls of the feet, and we're going to take a few side shuffles to the right. If that's really difficult for you, grab the chair with both hands and just shuffle on the spot. Just transfer a little bit of your weight from one foot to the next. All right, we're going to do 10 of those. We're going to rise up, shuffle in one direction. That's 1. Rise up, shuffle in the other direction. There's 2. Good. Rise up, shuffle to the left. 3. Rise up, shuffle to the other side. There's 4. Continue in that same vein. Number 5. Good. Number 6. Number 7. And for those of you who aren't doing the full shuffle from side to side, this is more or less what it should look like. Number 8. Number 9. And then one more, number 10. All right, I've got one more cooked up for you for your feet and for your balance. And this is again one of those fall prevention exercises. We're going to be walking on the heels of our feet. So when I'm running the live classes, I usually have us walk around a perimeter around the room. Since most of us are in our own spaces, you can just do this more or less on the spot. So I'm going to flick my toes up and pick up the balls of my feet, and I'm just going to kind of march on the spot. If you want to have a chair, just touch the chair with the finger if you're worried about balance or losing balance. Go ahead, by all means, do that. But what you're trying to do is just keep the balls of your feet and toes flicked up. You can walk around in a circle like this on the spot. I know it looks funny, but the good news is that all of you are doing this from your living rooms right now, or your kitchens or your bedrooms, so nobody else is watching you. I'm the only one who's on camera publicizing it, looking silly. Okay, we're going to just do a few more of these. You probably, especially if you don't do these at all or frequently, you're probably already feeling some tension, some fatigue in the front of the ankle. That's exactly what I want. I want to be working those muscles. So now let's stretch them out. They're warm. You can hold onto the chair in front of you. Pick up your heel. So I'm just touching the floor with the toe of one foot. And then I'm going to pull my knee forward. I'm going to pull my thigh forwards. And I'm going to try and keep the toe where it is on the floor. So in other words, I'm extending the ankle as much as I can and pushing my knees forwards, pushing my ankle into the floor until I feel like I've got enough of a stretch. And you are all going to do the same thing. Some of you can stretch further than others, It should be a mild stretch. It should be moderate. Okay, no deep stretching today. So just hold that for a few deep, slow breaths in and out. All right, we're going to do the same thing with the other foot now. We're going to point the toe and then into the floor and then draw the thigh forward, draw the knee forward, continue to keep pressure on it. Push that ankle in towards the floor until you feel like you've got a good stretch. Now, continue to take a few deep breaths in and out. For those of you who are getting foot cramps doing this, it's a great sign that either you've got some excess tension in your calves or you're not hydrated enough. You're not drinking enough water on a regular basis. Or maybe it's a combination of those two things. But those foot cramps are really easily eliminated with a little bit of massage and a lot more water. Okay, you can release the foot, shake both of them out, and we're all done with those foot exercises to start. So let's do a little work / stretch, dynamic stretching. So open up the space between your feet. I want you to stretch your fingertips out to either side as far as you can. Take a deep breath in, and then release. And as you release, I want you to push your hips back, keep your chest up, bend the knees, go as low as you can go, cross those arms over, and then stretch up again. For those of you who can, stretch your arms all the way up and back. Take a deep breath in, and then we're going to repeat. For those of you who can't raise your arms up that high, you're going to just open up your wingspan as much as you can. Hold it back, stretch out your chest, take a deep breath in, and repeat. We can do that 2 more times. So we're getting our legs working, we're getting the muscles in our back working because we're pushing our chest up, and we're opening up our chest and our shoulders. This is the last one. Okay, all right. So, exercise number 1 outside of the warm-up. We're going to be standing on one leg. You can touch a chair, or you can choose to do it freely in space. It's our hip opener. We're going to lift the knee up, open up, drop down. Keep the leg, the foot, the thigh opened up, pointing to the wall on your left. We're going to pick it up, tuck it back in, and drop it down. And all of that counts as 1 repetition. We're going to spell the following word. It's sagacious forwards with this. And those of you who can't quite lift the leg as high up or bothers your hips, you're going to focus more on rotating the leg open and closed. So let's start with S. Draw it back in. A. Good, and then draw it back in. While you're doing this, really keep flexing the muscles in your thigh, your hip, flex the muscles in your foot. G, don't try to isolate any particular muscle. Try to flex the whole leg and foot, the whole chain. I think we did G, so this is A. I hope we did that one. C. I. O. Okay, your hips are probably getting really tired by now. U, and I mean just in the standing, in the lifting leg. As you know, anytime you do an exercise where you're standing on one leg, the standing leg also gets a good workout. So reposition yourselves. We're going to spell that backwards, starting with the other leg. So starting from S. U. If you're clicking or popping or it's really uncomfortable, flex the muscles a little bit harder and reduce your range of motion or focus on the rotation. That was O, I believe. This is I. C. A. G. A. All right, everyone, we've got one more. S. Okay, so I'll tell you what, you've been working hard from your feet and your calves, you've been working for balance. Let's do one more exercise that I think is vital for your balance and for your coordination, and that is a lateral movement. Lateral movement simply means we do something moving from one side to the other side. And today, I'm going to incorporate your low back again into it. So we're going to take a side step. So I open up my feet. How much you open them up is a matter of your preference and your ability level. But when I do that, I'm going to push my butt back. I'm going to allow my knee to bend, and I'm just going to reach for either side of my knee. Bring my feet back together. And then I do it to the other side. I open my feet up, I push my butt back, I place my hand to either side of my knees, I push off and I repeat. So from the front it looks like this. That's one, then to the other side. That's two. All right? We're gonna do this, we'll do it in a multiple of 12. Starting from either side you choose, 0. And then push off. I want a good firm push. 12. Try not to do it this way. 24, where you raise up first and then try to bring the feet back together. It's not a very coordinated, efficient movement. 36, I push off. 48. 60, and you have to catch your balance when you come back to the center. So if you want a chair in front of you for this one, 72, either today or in the future, go for it. 84. 96, 108, 120. Oh, we're not done yet. We're going to count backwards now. 120, 108. We're going to get to have a seat after this. 96, so let's put the effort in while we're still standing. 84, 70. 72, this is 60. Just testing you, 48. 36. 24. 12. And 0. And that's the last one. Great work, everyone. Let's have a seat. We're going to do one more exercise for the day. So, and you'll need a rubber band for this one. I've got my green tube band today, so making ourselves comfortable. For this one today, we're going to want to loop the band underneath your feet. And as always with this exercise, I would request that you hold the band with the loose sides coming out the thumb side of your fist, and that's just for comfort. It's not a necessity. We're going to try and open our wingspan as much as we can today. Often I have you have a nice bend in your elbows. Today you're just going to open up the wingspan and try to keep the hand higher than the elbows. When you open up your wingspan, you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then you're going to relax. All right, so this is to make sure that I get your rotator cuff muscles, a very fragile muscle group, even in the midst of a day that's focusing on balance and low body strength. So we're going to count this in this following sequence. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 9, 8. So I tried to make the first part of the sequence fairly simple. It's the last part that you've got to remember forwards and backwards. So let's start it now from 1. 2, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Do not neglect to do that. It's an essential component. 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 8. Okay, and then for the end, you can release the band. I don't want you to do too many of those. We'll do more rotator cuff work in the second exercise this week. You can sit back in your chairs. We're going to alternate, extending one leg and then extending the other. If you need to, drop the feet and rest them, but if you can keep one foot hovering the whole time, or both feet rather hovering the whole time, it's even better, so you don't really get any rest. So counting that backwards from 8, 9, that was 9, 8, remember, squeeze these thighs as hard as you can each time. 6, more than you need to perform the action. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, that's it for today's session, everyone. But at least for the workout section of it, we're going to do a stretch for the hamstrings and your calves because you worked them both fairly hard today for the balance exercises. So I'd like you to sit in your chair, extend one leg out. Now I think you can see my toe flexing, so I'm going to flex the ankle rather and draw the toe in towards my knee. I'm going to take my free elbow and rest it on my free leg. And I'm going to try and hold fairly good posture. Flexing my spine any extra will not improve the quality of this stretch. We're all going to take in 3 really deep, slow breaths in, and you can just let them out when you're done breathing. So deep breath in, number 1. Exhale. Try to go a little deeper if you feel you can with each breath. Deep breath in, number 2. Okay, and then deep breath number 3. Hold it just for a moment. And then release. We'll do that to the other side. So extend the other leg out. Make sure to flex that ankle. Draw the toes into the knees so you're incorporating your calves as well, which you use for all the first foot exercises. Rest your free elbow on your free leg and lean forwards with fairly decent posture. 3 deep breaths in from here for 1. Make it nice and slow. Number 2. Try to go a little deeper if you can. And then the last one, number 3. Okay, just hold it there for a moment. All right, you are off the hook for today, everyone. Rather than stretching in the next exercise at the end this week, we're going to do a coordination exercise again, but I would like to make sure that you hydrate lots today, especially if you felt cramps in your foot or cramps in the back of your leg when you were stretching. It's a sure sign you're not drinking enough. Aside from that, I'm very happy with how we've been kind of changing up the program for the season and with the feedback that I've received from you so far. Remember that I will be into the fall filming these videos twice a week for you and posting them for those of you who cannot make it out to the live sessions. We do run live sessions at 1160 Maitland Avenue at DQ Ballroom and Fitness for those of you who are interested. It's a very large space. It's a 3,000 square foot floor. We're all social distanced, and I've got, at least while the weather's nice, the front and the back doors open. So we're spending keeping lots of distance, making sure that we get fresh air in, and for the time being, while the weather is still nice, we'll kind of do more of our socializing and chatting outside where it's safe. But I look forward to seeing those of you who are coming. This will be tomorrow for me. By the time you see this video, it will have been yesterday because I filmed this a few days in advance. But look forward to seeing you all, and for those of you who are continuing with the videos, continue to send me your feedback. I'd love to hear it, and I will see you again in a few days' time. Bye, everyone.